Hey everyone, I'm back. And yes, I'm in my vehicle because you might want to get used to kind of taking what you can get with my videos. A lot of the times being in my car and just running some errands is the only time I get away from my house. So I'm going to take this opportunity to touch on the subject of dating when you're the girlfriend and you're dating someone who is either separated or newly divorced, and what your role is as a girlfriend, and how, there are certain ways that you should approach the situation so it turns out in your favor. Because, one thing that is really, really important is that you realize everything that these kids have ever known is gone. And you might have this idea that you're entitled or that you deserve to be there, and it's time that they know who I am. And no, not necessarily, because you might be that man's family, but you're not that child's family. Their family's broken. Their lives are shattered, and the last thing that they need is you shoved down their throat. So that gets me to my first thing, which is, let this man spend time with his kids alone. You need to back off. This man's probably only seeing his kids a couple times a month, which, in my opinion, this might be a little yellow flag for you, because if a man is happy and content with only seeing his child twice a month, that might be something you want to look at, because you can't co-parent and you can't be involved in a child's life when you're only seeing them twice a month. So again, just kind of think about that. But if that is the case, needless to say, how often they're seeing each other, back off. Go find a hobby. Go on a girls' weekend. Go volunteer at a hospital or something like that, working with babies if you want to be around kids. But leave him alone with his kids. During that time that they're together, he needs to be mending what's broken. His family is broken. His marriage is broken. Not saying work on the marriage, but, again, seeing mommy and daddy is all these kids have ever known. And so he needs to be spending quality time with them. He needs to be restoring their little spirit that is broken. So I would say back off. You guys are with each other all month long, all week long. You're probably Snapchatting, Facebooking, Instagramming, sexting, texting, whatever. You're probably laid up in his bed all week long. And so why can't you just give him a little bit of space when he's spending time with his kids? That is, really, really important, because that's also, if you don't do that, it's going to be one of the reasons that the ex is already going to hate you and resent you, because she's going to be like, he only sees his kids twice a month and she's always got to be around. Why can't he spend time with his kids alone? So that's the first thing. But if you guys are in a situation where you are around and you're spending time with his kids, be appropriate, be classy, kind of chill out on the public displays of affection. No kid wants to see the girlfriend with their tongue all down daddy's throat, okay? You don't need to be all up on daddy's lap, groping him all, when he's with his kids. They're watching that. And trust me, that's going to hurt them. Because imagine they've only ever seen their daddy with their mommy, and then all of a sudden you're being shoved down their throat and you're all up on their daddy, and, you're half dressed, and, really get dressed. Don't walk around the house half naked in front of these kids. It matters. They're watching you, and, they're going to come out of their rooms in the morning and you're going to be all up in the kitchen half naked wearing daddy's t-shirt asking, do you want some Cinnamon Toast Crunch? And those kids honestly are probably thinking, no, bitch, I want you to go take my daddy's t-shirt off, and I want my mama's homemade pancakes with chocolate chips. That's what I really want. And that's probably what the kid really wants to say, but, probably not going to. So be classy, be appropriate, get dressed, chill out on the public displays of affection to their daddy when they're around. Again, you have all week long with their daddy. Let this be their time. If you're going to participate and feel a need to be involved in every activity that they do together, a lot of the times what ends up happening is it ends up being you and the dad, and not the dad and the kids, which is the way it should be. Because, you guys are walking around the zoo and, daddy should be giving his daughter a piggyback ride around the zoo. No, instead he's hand in hand with you and the kids are kind of just on the sidelines. That's not how it should be. if you're going to do activities with the kids, you know, on his weekends or whatever, it's okay to let your presence be known, but choose an activity that's fun and that's energetic. For instance, you know, especially with teens, you know, do laser tag or something like that. I don't know, airball or whatever you call it, to where, you know, you're there, but you're not being shoved down their throat. Okay, choose your activities wisely. You know, if they're younger kids, you know, yes, go to Chuck E. Cheese, something like that, to where they could be doing their thing, dad could be involved, you're still there, but you're not right up in the mix. Don't choose to go to see a movie. Don't do that. Because, again, what's it going to be like? You and dad are going to be all snuggled up, sharing popcorn, holding hands, and the kids are going to be over here, and, you know, they want to be next to their daddy. So choose your activities wisely. Get dressed. Keep it classy, you know, put some clothes on. Other thing I would say is, you know, don't try to be mommy. I know it sounds so cliche, but they're not your kids. Don't correct somebody else's kids. I'm not saying that you deserve to be disrespected or these kids should be able to talk to you any old way. No, I'm not saying that. But then that's where he needs to step up and be a man, and he needs to pull his kids aside and he needs to have a conversation with them. And if he can't do that, again, your feelers are out, yellow flag, because he needs to be able to parent. He needs to be able to step up as a man and discipline his kids in the right way and say, no, this is unacceptable. But again, don't put yourself in that position where it would even be talked about, because you should not be disciplining anybody else's kids. And God forbid, do not contact the ex. She don't want to hear from you. Don't have this grand idea that you're going to contact her, you know, and introduce yourself and you're going to be around the kids. No, she doesn't like you. She doesn't want to hear from you. At this point, all she knows is you're the other one. You're the next one. You know, she's had 2 or 3 other ones before you, and she doesn't care to hear from you. That's just going to piss her off. Here's how you gain the respect of the ex, is how you treat her kids. Because everything that the ex is going to learn about you is going to be relayed from the kids. They're going to be watching, they're going to be listening, they're going to be going home and running to their mommy and telling them everything about you. So that's why it's so important that you play your cards right with the kids. But also, don't be fake. A child could see right through your fakeness. They can see if you're truly genuine about how you feel about them and how you're acting, what your demeanor is. One of my son in particular, he will read you like a book. He will be able to spot a fake in a heartbeat. And that's why I'm saying it's important that you gain the respect of the child, because what happened to me once, and I've been in both situations. I've been the girlfriend and I've been the mother. And it's hard, you know, because don't, you know, get over yourself. She doesn't just not like you because you're prettier or you're younger and, you know, she's a stay-at-home mom and I have a career. No, bitch, she's concerned about her kids. She doesn't know you from Adam. So you have to gain her respect, or you're going to have a long road ahead of you. And you do that by earning the respect of the kids first. So, you know, my son came to me one day and said, you know, Mom, I really like so-and-so. It was the first person that he's ever said that to me about, and I was like, really? Yeah, you know, I really like her. She's nice to me. She talks to me. She shows me respect. You know, she treats me like a person. And so that totally turned a corner for me. And I gained, you know, a new respect for this person, because if you're able to gain the respect of my son, who can read you like a book and spot fakeness a mile away, then you got something going for you. And so then it really changed the whole family dynamics with us at that point. And it takes time. So, you know, you have to be patient and give these kids the time that they need to heal. And, you know, it's an adjust, because it doesn't happen overnight. The other thing I will say is stay clear until it's the right time of, you know, special events, holidays, birthdays, graduations. Look, I'm not saying that, you know, you're going to be secluded from everything forever. It's, you know, in time, there's a time and a place for you to be there. The kids are going to resent you if you push yourself on them too quickly. Special events like birthdays and graduations, like I said, you're not family yet. You're just the girlfriend. And so what the kids are really feeling is, a lot of times they're feeling bad for mom because they know that your presence is making mommy sad or making mommy mad. And you can't take that from that family. Mom and dad have worked hard for 18 years maybe, getting that kid to graduation, and everything's still kind of touchy, and then here you are up in the stands in the audience with dad, and that makes everybody feel uncomfortable. It makes it really, really awkward, and that child doesn't deserve that. That child worked really hard for that graduation, and it's his day. So you should be woman enough to kind of put your feelings aside and your desires and your wants and think about the child. Your time will come when you earn the respect of the child and he starts coming around or she starts coming around. She'll want you or he'll want you at those events, So I would just say back off a little bit. These kids are going through a lot, and you have to give them the time and the space they need. And again, give them the time with their dads. That's all I'm saying. You don't need to be all up in everything all the time. Now, once you two get to a place where everybody's kind of cordial, everybody's respecting each other, you're coming around, they're more accepting of you, the ex is lightened up a little bit, okay, fine. Then even moving forward, there's, certain ways that you should handle yourself with these kids, and it could turn out really, really good. But again, just chill out a little bit. Let these dads spend time with their kids. There's nothing more important than a father being in their child's life and being involved. And you really don't want to be the wedge in between that. It's a very crucial time for them. And they're going to end up respecting you and liking you and potentially loving you for it. So I don't know. I hope that my video was helpful, and I hope you kind of, take it with a grain of salt. Again, I'm not hating on girlfriends. There are good ones and there are bad ones, and I've, been in both situations, so I'm only talking from my own experience. And so hopefully you'll get something out of this video and you'll implement it into your lives and it'll work out for you. Until then, keep whining, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.